Maya had never believed in the supernatural. Ghosts, curses, haunted objects, they were just stories, weren't they? Fabrications to thrill the gullible and sell tickets to cheap horror shows. She prided herself on being logical, grounded, but logic faltered when she inherited her grandmother's sprawling Victorian home. A house with secrets buried in its walls and shadows that seemed to move when no one was looking. The attic, in particular, had always been off limits when Maya was a child. Her grandmother's stern warnings about leaving things undisturbed rang in her ears every time she passed its locked door. But now the house and its attic belonged to her. And Maya wasn't afraid of dusty old heirlooms, or so she thought. The attic was suffocating. The single bulb hanging from the ceiling cast a dim, flickering light, making the space seem endless and confined all at once. Cobwebs clung to forgotten furniture and boxes stacked haphazardly. A faint scent of mildew lingered in the air, but beneath it was something else, something acrid and metallic. Maya almost missed it. A small wooden chest tucked into the corner, its brass hinges dulled by time. Something about it called to her, though she couldn't say why. Her hands trembled as she opened the lid, revealing a porcelain doll wrapped in yellowed lace. Its face was eerily lifelike, rosy cheeks, delicate eyelashes, and wide glassy blue eyes that seemed to meet hers. But it wasn't just the craftsmanship, it was the feeling. The doll exuded an energy that made Maya's stomach churn and her heart race. One porcelain hand rested stiffly on its lap, missing the tip of a finger. A tarnished plaque on the stand read, "Annabelle, 1886. She couldn't explain why, but the longer she stared, the more her breath caught in her throat. It was as if the doll was watching her, studying her. Maya shook her head and placed it on a nearby shelf, trying to laugh off her unease. "It's just a doll," she muttered, but her voice felt small, swallowed by the stillness of the room. That night Maya couldn't sleep. The wind outside howled, making the old house groan like a living thing. Every creak of the floorboards sent a shiver down her spine. She told herself it was just the age of the house, just the wind. Then she heard it. Tap, 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 software deliberate. It wasn't random noise. It was rhythmic. Tap, tap, tap. The sound came from above her, from the attic. Her chest tightened, but curiosity overcame fear. Grabbing her phone for light, she made her way upstairs, her footsteps hesitant against the creaking stairs. The attic door was ajar. That detail stopped her cold. She was certain she had closed it. Pushing it open, the chill hit her like a wave. The doll wasn't on the shelf where she had left it. The chest was empty. A giggle, a faint, childlike sound, rose from the shadows behind her. Spinning around, Maya dropped her phone. The light flickered across the room, landing on Annabelle. The doll sat upright in the middle of the floor, its head tilted unnaturally to the side. Her missing finger was now intact, and her lips curved into a sinister smile. "No," Maya whispered, shaking her head. "This isn't real. This can't be real." The doll's head snapped upright, its lifeless eyes now filled with a spark of something malevolent. Maya stumbled backward as the doll moved, its porcelain legs stiff but purposeful. The tapping sound returned, its tiny fingers drumming against the wooden floor as it approached. Panic surged through her veins. She lunged forward, grabbing the doll and shoving it back into the chest. The laughter stopped instantly, as though it had never existed. Maya slammed the lid shut, wrapped the chest in heavy chains, and drove it to the nearest landfill at dawn. She watched, heart pounding, as the compactor crushed it into oblivion. She told herself it was over. That night, Maya finally allowed herself to relax. She poured a glass of wine and laughed at her own paranoia. But as she climbed into bed, the tapping returned. It wasn't faint this time. It wasn't distant. The sound came from the foot of her bed. With trembling hands, Maya reached for her phone. She didn't want to look. Every part of her screamed to stay under the covers, to pretend she didn't hear it. But she couldn't ignore it. The light flickered on, and there she was. Annabelle sat on the edge of the bed, her pristine lace dress glowing softly in the darkness. Her glassy eyes met Maya's, and this time they blinked. Maya froze as the doll's mouth parted. A cold, rasping whisper spilled out, chilling her to the bone. "You can't get rid of me, Maya. If you're feeling the chills and your heart's racing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Thrill Up Shorts. More haunting tales are coming your way. Stories that will make you question the shadows in your room. See you next time, if you dare."